it was only when I got into the drug business that I had learned. And you know, my mom used to say even when I was a kid that I was the ringleader, you know, of all my
People
siblings.
follow you.
Yeah, my cousins and my brothers and everybody followed me. So my mom called me the ringleader. And it was only after tennis was over that I found out that I had these organizing skills, and I just had to figure out what did I use these organizing skills for. You know, should I use them for gang banging, you know, robbing? Because I had a group of guys that probably would have followed me if I would have wanted to gang bang. If I wanted to be a robber, if I wanted to burglarize houses, they would have went with me, you know. So because they did go when I started stealing cars, you know, they were my car crew.
Because that's how you got started.
That's how I got started. So I did have the power to decide what my group was going to be doing, and you know, I felt it was my job to one, keep them safe and keep them out of jail.
That's dope, and that's what you did for the most part. Because when you came up, I got a question, and this is the one that I've been itching to do. So like, I want to play golf, and all my boys are playing golf right now. And in golf, they say, the dude told me, he said, take some lessons because you could pick up some bad habits, and it's harder to break a bad habit than it is to start without one. So get some instructions so that you can learn how to play without the bad habits. So I was like, cool. So then in me thinking about this interview, I thought about it like this. I said, so what qualities do you think that you had in the hustle that hurts you in life or in being successful in legitimate business?
Now, that's a tough one there, huh? Well, you know, I credit legitimate business and hustling with almost identical. You know, the same things that work in hustling on the street work in legit business. The difference is that with most black men, especially coming up, where do you learn about business at? You know, say for instance, when I wanted to buy my first piece of property, there was nobody in my neighborhood that could tell me how to buy a piece of property. You know, they just didn't know. Yeah. They didn't have a clue. Yeah. So, but now everybody on the block could tell you how to sell some cocaine. You know, where to get it at, who had it, how much it was going to cost you.
Or if you wanted a car, they can tell you how to get a car. It's little things they can tell you how to get.
Right.
There's certain things that they couldn't.
They didn't have that knowledge. So that knowledge just wasn't, it's still not in our community right now. You know, the average kid, if he wants to know how to go and get a loan, there's very few people in the community that can teach him how to get a loan.
It's funny that you say that. My daughter goes to Hamilton High School, and my business partner, his son, goes to Beverly Hills High School. And at Beverly Hills High School, they have a finance class to where they're teaching these kids the value of money. Hamilton High School, it ain't no such thing. But it's just funny. Different areas teach different things. So you're right.
Right. And then so with us, we come up more than likely with single parents, you know.
Figuring it out as we go.
And you got to figure it out. But who do you figure it out from? You know, you can only do what you see. You know, while I was in prison.
But you need to tell me, like, with all this money the money that you had and the money that was coming through, you didn't have nobody that you could talk to that would show you how to invest and things to do with the money that you were making?
Well, they started to come after you start having money. I'm talking
then
about
how do you trust them?
I'm talking about how do you do that before you have money? Because say you walk up, more than likely, you walk up to somebody that's doing good in real estate, they're driving a brand new car, and here you are, you know, a 17, 18-year-old kid, you probably a little dusty, you know, your clothes ain't the best. They might think you're gonna try to rob them. You know, the first thing coming in their mind, what does he want?
What does he want from?
You know, is he gonna try to hurt me? So when you're dealing with those situations, people just don't come up and give you information. But once you start having money, then you can buy information. It opens
a whole bunch of doors.
Opens money opens doors.
Yeah.
You know, people will be more willing to talk, especially if you're willing, like I was willing to pay for information. I learned at a young age, playing tennis. Tennis really helped me a lot. I had to pay for my own tennis lessons. So I understood that
if I paid for your own lessons?
I used to pay for my own tennis lessons.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. And how old were you when you were paying for those lessons?
16, 17 years old. You know,
it meant that much to you that you could do it. Instead of just playing for the high school, you wanted to have lessons on top of that.
Well, I understood. I was lucky. When I started playing tennis, my friends were already ranked. You know, colleges was already looking at them. They were on their way. They were well on their way already. So what I did is I was able to see what they were doing and what they were going through. They had sponsors, you know, so I understood what it took, you know, from watching them. And one of the things I found out about myself is that I'm a copycat, and
So you're not the Picasso that's just gonna paint on your own, but you'll trace like a mug.
yeah, I can. If you throw the Picasso up there, I can copy it. I'll copy it where it looks down there just like the Picasso, and sometimes you get lucky and do it even better.
Yeah, you put
so,
your own spin on it.
So really, what I did, even in school, I was thinking, man, how was I able to keep passing through school? Well, I found out, find the right person and copy their page and get a good grade on this report. You need this report, so get this report done, and the teacher's gonna pass you. So I took that, and those skills were transferable in business. So when I started selling cocaine, I copied the guys that was doing it right. The guys that I see that wasn't doing it right, I don't do what they do, and I came up with my own game plan from there, and
took it to another level.
Took it to another level.
Yeah, and it's just amazing the things that you were able to achieve. But the thing that I got from it was like, if you could be so successful in that, can that successful transition into other endeavors?
It really already has.
I mean, but back then, not now, but back then when you were in the game, did you see an out, or you weren't even thinking about outs?
I saw outs, but the thing that I was doing wrong is that, you heard of the thing, you can't worship two gods? Well, I had 3 or 4. I would do real estate, but I was still selling dope. I would do some music, but I'm still selling dope. I would do cars, but I'm still selling dope. I do houses, but I'm still selling dope. I do junkyards, but I'm still selling dope. So all the time, everything that I did, it still had that dope tied to it. It wasn't where I went cold turkey.
Did you ever set those goals for yourself? Like, I have friends that were in the game. They be like, after I make my first 100,000, I'm done. And then they make that 100,000, and they be like, well, my first 500,000. And then once you get to 1 million, I'm done. But it just keeps going, because what else are you gonna do? And this, the unknown is scary, because even with all the bullshit that goes along with the hustle, it's still it. Whereas that other game, you don't know, and you feel like people can take advantage of your ignorance.
Yeah, we all set those goals. My first goal was $5,000.
$5,000?
Yeah, that's all I wanted to make.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I was broke. When I came up, I didn't have enough money to put gas in my car. When gas was like 50 cents a gallon, we used to have to go steal gas. So
how do you steal gas?
With a siphon hose.
Y'all was siphon the gas?
Yeah, we go siphon gas out of people's cars.
Oh,
I'd be standing on the side with a hose, and my guy would be watching out. And
you put it in a jug or something, then just pour it in somebody else's tank?
Yes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yes.
Man, we've come a long way, haven't we?
Unbelievable.
Man, it's just crazy. When you think about it, though, it's like the hardest thing to me, they said the hardest thing in professional sports is to hit a pitch from a major league pitcher, because the balls are going so fast. But for me, the hardest thing, and growing up in the hood, the hardest thing for me to see somebody succeed at is getting out of the game, because the game is just so addictive. And then even dudes that say they get out. I mean, it's kind of like you say, the alcoholic says, I'll never drink again after the hangover. But how many times do they go right back to doing it?
Yeah, you're right. Getting out is always tough. My first goal was 5,000. Then went to 20. Then it went to 100. And then it went to, I'm not going to quit until I'm set.
What's ever set? Like, what's set?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But I was planning on doing it. That's why I was building motels, and I was looking for ways to generate the kind of money that I was generating in the drug business.
Did you almost make it?